booked until after Sleepy Tapes Monday morning at 3 a.m. for me.
Monday
I'm
night
gonna
at
wait till the 8-1,
11.
'cause
I think it's 11. Wait,
a brain in
Bella,
my
do you know
head.
how many? Can you tell us how many tracks there are and like how
49.
long?
Okay,
And it's just over
there is
2
literally a public schedule. So
Yeah.
No, tracks for Sleepy Tapes, I think, was...
Oh, for Sleepy Tapes?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
fucking know.
I think there was 37... No, that's the track. That's the set count. That's the set count.
We have 37 sets in Fargofest. That is insane.
Yeah.
We have
So
almost
crazy.
40 sets.
Shout out.
Like,
I
we
could have been
we literally got an Afraid of the Dark set over it last night. I was just... I just told Noelle that if she can get it finished by the time I wake up, she can get it.
She panic DM'd me last night, like, can you give me this acapella? I need it for my set. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. She got it done at like 4 a.m. her time.
Oh my god.
Noelle's Fargofest be like, Fargofest, and you can get in as long as you submit to Maya before she wakes up.
Yeah.
It's Danny time anyways.
Anytime.
Danny, feel free to start whenever you want.
It's so funny how I submitted my
give me a
Fargofest. Oh, my bad, Gate. Hold up. Damn. Can I say one last thing at least?
Yeah, I'm not ready yet. Give me a second to mentally prepare.
Maya, remember how I like made my set in like 10 minutes in VC one time?
I do not remember that. I have no memory ever of anything. I hope that helps.
I'm literally
yeah.
I'm gonna make my Fargofest set right now. And I submitted like 10 minutes after.
I don't really remember that, but yeah.
Anyways, yeah, go on. Danny, you got this. Shout out Dog Girls, whatever.
That's real as fuck. Okay. So, I mean, I am doing a lecture today just on, like, how I mess with how my guitars sound in my music, which is constantly changing. So, like, give it, like, maybe 2 months and this might be completely irrelevant to me. But, yeah. So, I'm just gonna go over a few, like, basic things to keep in mind when trying to do this shit. Let's see. So before you even put any like effects on whatever you're using, you need to decide the utensil for which you are commencing in culinary arts.
Let's fucking go.
So, I mean, I will, like, 95% of the time use guitar, but I also like to apply some of these same things with the synthesizer. And if you do not have or know how to play a guitar, that would also be something that you can apply regardless. So if you're playing guitar, a few things to keep in mind are the pickups on your guitar, because there's going to generally be two different kinds that you're going to see, and those will be single coils and double coils, or also called humbuckers. Single coils tend to have brighter sounds, but they are also more prone to feedback and noise. Humbuckers or double coils will have, like, they'll have a thicker kind of sound, and they also are less prone to feedback. So you will see those kinds in a lot of metal or rock, but realistically, you can use either pickup for, like, literally whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't matter an awful lot, but it's one thing to keep in mind. Also, the position that they are on a guitar is very important, because depending on where it is, it'll have a different sound. Like, the main guitar that I use is a Telecaster. It has two pickups. There's one that is more toward the neck and one that is, like, right up in front of the bridge. The bridge is going to have a brighter and thinner sound than the neck will. And you can switch between them or use both at the same time. I mostly use the bridge pick, honestly. And then whatever strings you use, the thicker they are, the thicker sound you're going to get, if that makes any sense. And if they are older, they'll tend to have a more dull sound. Newer strings will have a brighter sound, typically. And then electric guitars will have a tone knob that you can turn or to make the sound brighter or duller after all of that. So those are all things you can mess with before you even run any effects through it. As for a synthesizer, you can mess with different waveforms. I have examples of stuff that I messed with a kind of sine wave kind of sound, triangle, square waves, and there's a super saw. You can also use varying degrees of unison and mess with the EQ. And if you are a better sound designer than I am, and that would be fairly easy, you can probably mess with even more stuff than I would know what to do with. Really, I would just mess around with that. We'll get into some examples in a second. But before that, we have some important stuff to go through, and that's going to be the amplifier and the cabinet. So your amplifier is going to be that is what makes your guitar loud. Okay. So it is composed of 3 separate parts typically, and these can also be found separately. But you have your preamp, which is going to take your guitar signal and bring it up to line level. And then the power amp is going to take your line level and boost it enough to where it can drive some speakers. And then you have your speakers, which we'll elaborate on in a second. But amps like this one here in this slide, those are combo amps. So that has a preamp, a power amp, and a speaker all combined in it. You can find all of these units by themselves, but they tend to be more expensive that way. I don't have to worry about any of that because I have never played an actual amp or used any actual pedals. It is all in the DAW. So if you have any questions about actually messing around with amps and pedals and shit, do not ask me. I will not know jack shit. But as far as amps go, some examples of amp simulators. There's Guitar Rig. That is not free, but it is one that I still use fairly often. Not so much anymore because I've been trying to find out how to make these same sounds with other stuff that does not have to be cracked. But that includes amplifiers, cabinets, and then a whole bunch of other effects that you can mess with all in kind of one suite. There is the player, a Guitar Rig player version. That one is free, but it's a little more limited. As far as I know, it only has 1 amp and cab and then a few different effects, but it's not the entire library, basically. And then there's also a free amp from Blue Cat, and this one has 3 different options. A bulk of the examples that I have in this lecture today, I use that amp for. There's also Bugex from Voxengo. That is a free option. I have not gotten into that one very much. It seems to be a little quirky.
Question: are we meant to see the VSTs?
Yeah, we'll get into that. I haven't.
I was just wondering because we couldn't see anything now, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, yeah.
Because your cursor was moving around.
Yeah, no problem. But also, if you're working on a tone that's especially noisy or distorted, you might not even really have to worry about the amp. Just put a fuck ton of distortion on it, to be honest. That would probably be pretty perky. I mean, the thing with an amp, though, is that it will kind of round out some of those higher frequencies generally, because it also does a little bit of compression at the same time. But I mean, you can probably figure that out. And then we have our cabinet. And so these are enclosures full of loudspeakers, and these can vary a lot in how they sound, because there can be like different arrays of speakers, different sizes of speakers. And then when, like, say you're recording some electric guitar in the studio, there will be a few different ways that the sound can vary as well. With like the kind of microphone that you're recording the amp with, and where in the speaker that the microphone is focused on, those will change the sound as well. But when as far as emulating or figuring out how to like simulate cabinet sounds when making these, I would recommend looking into convolution. Basically, convolution works in these things called impulse responses, and you just drag them in, and it'll add an additional part to your sound that's kind of influenced by that impulse response that you put in. It can digitally recreate recording environments. So if you did like a clap in like a huge cathedral or something, and then you took that really reverbed clap and made that your impulse response, like whatever like sound you run through the convolution at that point is going to be influenced by the reverb. It's going to sound like it comes from that cathedral you recorded the impulse response in.
Also, thing about convolution, real quick. Sorry for interjecting.
Yeah, go ahead.
Goated sauce. I tried this once at VC and it was so good. You convolute your own sound. Like you get the sound and you convolute the sound with itself.
Yeah. So like not only can you like recreate like recording environments with whatever reverb they have and such and apply that, but you can also create impulse responses out of cabinets and microphones, and you can simulate cabinets and microphones that way. So basically anything relating to recording, an impulse response is going to simulate whatever aspects of recording that you're trying to go for. And so there are a lot of free packs of impulse responses that you can find online. It is also possible to make them yourself, but that is outside the scope of this lecture because I'm still trying to figure that out, but you know, that's kind of cool. But also, just like Ali was talking about, you can put literally fucking anything into the convolution. So like, it's kind of a nice little sound design tool in itself. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it and just see what happens. So before we get into the examples that I have in this project, here are a few rules of thumb as far as like making tones with these effects. Basically, there are going to be a few exceptions to this, which is for me, the exception is more the rule. But because I do a lot of quirky shit. But generally, what you want to do is put your distortion or fuzz before the amp, because like I said before, it'll get kind of rounded out and be less harsh. But if you want it to be harsh, like you can not do that. The effects loop is basically some amps will have ascend that will bypass the preamp and go straight into the power amp. And so these will not be as like distorted or fucked up. Generally, you want to put your delay and reverb in this section. Or if you have a volume pedal, like you would also put that in there. And things like compression or any kind of modulation effects like chorus and flanger and such kind of doesn't really make a difference on either side because it can sound pretty good either way. So just like whatever sounds good to you, just put it wherever you want. So with me, with my really fucking distorted tones, I like to put the reverb before the distortion So, yeah, that is generally a no-go, but if you really want like a washed out shoegazy tone specifically, that's kind of the thing you go for. So before we get into all the guitar stuff here, I'll just get some examples of stuff that I worked with for these. So here I kind of started with like this kind of, I use something like this all the fucking time. I'm just clicking on random keys, my fault. But like, it's honestly one of my favorite like kind of synths to make. It is like that synth thing in 117. I use it in like so many other things as well. Yeah. Basically, I just take like some white noise and run it through a bandpass filter with a lot of resonance and then key tracking. And so you get like a sine wave character with a bit of the noise in it. So it's a little messy. And I like that sound a lot. But here's what I did to it. So, as you can see in the mixer, I start with some reverb at the very beginning of the chain. That should not be surprising coming from me. And then like a kind of granular delay. This plugin is fucking goated. I love this. I love Arget Lunar. Great granular delay plugin. And then some distortion. This is just the fastest like stock plugin. I use this all the fucking time with my tones. And then here's the free amp that we mentioned earlier. So there's 3 different models, being a classic clean, classic drive, and modern drive. This is just the clean amp, which I personally really like the sound of putting really distorted sounds through a clean amp, because it's kind of like unadulterated distortion. But it still rounds it out a little bit. It's like a really nice sound that I like. And then this right here is a impulse response to simulate a cabinet. So you can see it's like really small. So when you're doing like cabinet simulation with convolution, you're pretty much going to want just the wet signal. If you want, you can combine the dry and the wet until you can have your like direct input and your cabinet at the same time. There are no rules here, but yeah. So that is that. This is probably my favorite sound out of the ones that I did. And this was made with a triangle wave. So to start with, it sounds like this.
My yeet beat.
Yeah, yeet beat for real. So after all the effects that I did, it's like this. So, first I have a convolution reverb at the beginning. So I just took an impulse response and I reversed it. And then normally there would be like some dry and wet signal for reverb, especially reverse reverb. But I thought it would be quirky if I just use only the wet signal for that. And it turned out pretty nice. Followed by, again, the fastest. Fucking love this shit. Best distortion. Preamp again. The clean model. Then there's the another cabinet impulse response at the end. I just put a limiter at the end because it was really loud. Yeah, so that's that one. This one I'm kind of whatever on, but it's interesting. It says I use 2 different reverse reverbs on this one. Yeah, so this is just a square wave with some compression. I put some multi-band compression on it. For that matter, I should go into these. So this one is also OTT, basically in like some downsampling, and then the sine wave downsampling and some delay on it. Now this one. So let's take all these off. So this is a square wave, but I have modulated the volume of it for 1. And then some other stuff. We'll get to this in a second. But kind of sounds like shit as is. But it doesn't really matter. So I was kind of trying to simulate like tremolo picking your guitar, so like you're alternate picking it really fucking fast. So I just did like an LFO for the level going down, randomly changing the speed, and then it is affecting both the volume of this and the cutoff of this filter here. I did the filter thing because it made it sound a little less harsh after I put all of the other effects on it. Yeah. So let me see here. So we have, to start with, I put a delay on it. Now this is just like a really long delay with a feedback of 0. So it's kind of only tailing off once and then stopping. So like there's only one other echo. And with that echo being kind of far away, it adds a bit of a trailing sound to it. And then I did another convolution, but this time it was a fucking metal pipe sound. Shout out Tay. Shout out Tay for having that idea.
Let's go.
No fucking way.
So there's that, and then just like, your regular reverb, distortion, more distortion, and then your cabinet. And so at the end it sounded like this. You can kind of hear like the really loud like metal pipe like distortion in the reverb tail. It's crazy. It's really quirky. And then last here is the super saw. Now this one's a little. We'll get to this one in more detail in a second, but I just did like a super saw like stack. So like just like some multi-band compression, distortion, and reverb at the end of that. And then when I run it through, I have this kind of patcher thing going on. Basically, this stereo shaper here, I am splitting this like chord stack into yes, I did do that, Jessa. It's a metal pipe like convolution reverb. The stereo shaper here is basically splitting the signal of the like saw chords into the mid and side channel. And then I am running a distortion amp and cabinet all through the side channel. So if we just take so what it sounds like usually. That's your mid channel, your distorted side channel. I like doing this because like the mid channel has all of the character of these saw chords, so it doesn't completely like get rid of that like saw chord sound, but you're also adding some really like shoegazy sounds into the side channel. So it has like the same kind of like in your face sound, but with a different vibe. So I like doing that too. So yeah. So that's as far as those go. All of the synth stuff that I did. And now I have a few examples of like actually messing with guitar. So here I have some. All of these recordings are going to be kind of messy, but yeah. So this is like kind of a clean sound, but this is just the direct input. So here, add some chorus. I fucking love my OTT. I put that shit on everything. Frank's Red Hot style. Some like
this dog thinks she K-Mo.
and then an amp again on like the clean. Some reverb, and then the cabinet.
Also, if Danny hasn't mentioned this so far, I'm sure she has and I just missed it because I'm an idiot, but I believe all the plugins she's using are free or stock. I know the amp we found was free because obviously guitar rig costs a lot of fucking money. So yeah, if you want to get these tones, the amp is free. It's called the fucking Blue Cat free amp. I think you can find it on Plugin Boutique or whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, so I tried to, for all these tones, use strictly like stock or free plugins. Okay. And then the reverb and this. So all together. Chorus on guitar just hits different. Now this one's a little quirky. Let me see. So I like doing these kinds of distorted leads all the time, but this is just the dry signal. So I added some, like a high pass because I fucked up. Reverb. Distortion. EQ again.
I love shoot.
OTT, because I fucking love OTT. I have classic drive amp this time. A delay, and this is on basically like dotted, 16s or dotted 8s. The cabinet, finally. EQ again. So that's an example of like a distorted lead that I did this morning. And for the last example, we're going to get into another tip for like guitar tones. And this is double tracking. So when you're doing rhythm guitars, whether they be electric or acoustic, you want to do like at least 2 takes and then pan them around. It sounds much better that way. So if you're doing electric, like this lecture is mostly focused on, you will want to record the same riff like twice, do 2 different takes, and then put them through different tones. So that might be like a different amp and cab. It's mostly going to be a different amp and cab. Yeah. And then for an acoustic guitar, which we aren't really talking about in here, but like if you do play acoustic and you want to record acoustic, what you should know is record the acoustic from 2 different positions of the microphone. So like have one more toward the neck and one more toward the bridge, kind of like with the guitar pickups earlier. They sound a little different. And then take those 2 different takes. Or if you have more than one microphone, you can position them like at different positions of the guitar at the same time. There are recording setups for that too. I don't know because I've only ever had one microphone at a time. But if you have money, okay. Yeah. So once you have those 2 different takes of your guitar, you'll want to pan them left and right about 50%. You don't want to hard pan it, typically. But enough to kind of open the sound up to an extent. So here, I'm going to mostly focus on this one here because the other one that I did for the right channel is not much different. So this is just a distortion, OTT again. We have another amp, and then our cabinet simulation. So that's going to come out sounding like, which one was it? Is it this one? And then the other one kind of sounds more like this. Distortion, OTT, a different amp, and a different cabinet. And when you have these panned on either side and play them together,
Quick interjection.
Yep.
This kind of reminds me of analog hold on, the track.
Like the Paranol track. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Analog sentimentalism.
Yeah. Thank you. So that concludes my lecture. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Danny. That was
We love
awesome.
Danny Sugarz. We love Danny Sugarz.
Danny.
This lecture, government work from home, demolition workers. What does that mean?
Danny, I have a question. Danny. What do you think of the GIF I just sent in voice overflow?
No.
Oh my god, Kitty.
You spin.
Stop torturing her.
Oh my god, he's spinning.
He's spinning the cat.
Danny, there's only one point I would make on that thing, and that is, why aren't you hard panning? Why aren't you fucking hard panning?
I don't like to hard pan.
That's fair.
I don't know. I like having a little bit of each guitar in either channel.
Yeah.
Danny,
I'm a boss
Hard
when it
banning
comes to
this
hard
shit,
panning.
call that bisexual.
I'll double track like everything, like rhythms, leads, everything. I'll hard pan them, and then once I've bounced them out as hard panned, I'll fucking pan 132 to the left and 132 to the right. Like I've gone.
So you hard pan them and then pan them back.
Yeah. So imagine a lead. Imagine a lead, right? You take it twice, 164 to the left, 164 to the right. Then you bounce it out and pan that 32 to the left. Oh, it's a method. It sounds so full. I haven't done it with my lecture because I couldn't be asked. I just one-tracked everything. But yeah, is the method.
Danny, I have a question.
Yes.
Should I order McDonald's?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
This is a very guitar-related question. I'm enjoying the back and forth there.
Is this the hard-hitting university content I've been missing out on this whole time?
Hey, McDonald's sucks.
It is.
Why would you ever?
Because it's significantly better here than the fucking evil ass shit America
Okay,
has.
McDonald's does
Okay,
not
that
suck.
is
They have
good.
really
Alright,
good breakfast menu items.
Thank you, Danny, for
have-
the amazing
Thank
lecture.
you,
That was
Danny.
awesome.
Thank you, Sugargate. Thank you, Danny Sugargate. It is now time for
Wait, I
Cherry
have-
Midwest Emo.
Next lecture is
Danny, before
Cherry.
you
I have
go-
a question real quick.
Danny, before you go.
Oh shit!
Before
Everyone's
you go.
dead.
Danny, should I watch the university or should I make food? I haven't eaten today, I think.
I
You
think
should eat if you haven't already.
Oh, you should
But
eat.
cherry sound design. I love
Danny, I
cherry
have a.
It's
emo
not
Midwest.
sound design. I mean, it
cherry
can
sound
be,
design.
but it isn't really.
Cherry,
can
feel
be.
free to start whenever you feel
I will
comfortable.
start when. Where? How many people are there? Who?
At least
Right.
3.
Right. Who here has got their guitar on them right now? If
Me.
they've
Oh
got a
yeah,
guitar?
I've got mine.
Who here
Yeah, I
doesn't
got
mind
mine.
rearranging? Who here
I-
doesn't mind rearranging their tunings a little bit?
I can do that.
Depends what tuning, because I've got my acoustic.
Oh, okay.
I
Good.
have my fucking Telecaster.
Who here can read tab?
Me, yeah.
Hello.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful, 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 beautiful. Right, I'm gonna
Read
use
what?
the university chat, like the one in VC. So to start off with, this is about kind of. So I'm gonna start with standard tuning. And I'm just gonna go through like chord inversions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you have a look at this PDF, if you want to.
So I'm muting.
Okay.
So just let me know when you've got that open.
I've got it.
I've got it.
So this is just kind of. Hang on, let me fucking make it available to hear. Can you
Cool.
hear this through the? Can you hear that through the stream?
Yeah, we
A
can.
little.
That was an awful chord, but that's not the point. So through the stream, yeah, it's coming through the stream, volume wise.
I wasn't on the stream. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, it's fine. It's working.
Cool. So yeah, what the fuck? This is math.
What the fuck did Pesh just
What do
say?
you mean? What was that? What's that censoring? This is a common shoegaze chord. This is a suspended 4, I believe. I don't know theory. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your regular power chord, and instead
Sorry, I
of
was censoring bull slide.
of course you were.
Yeah, so that would be like a suspended second. That's a
Yeah.
Suspended
interval.
second. Thank you, theory person who knows the theory and
Yeah.
knows the names. If I fuck up the names further on, please someone correct me.
It's a 9.
So yeah, that's the power chord. You're just playing the root, the 5 on the E string, the 5. You're playing the 5th, which is the 7th on the A string. Now instead of playing the octave of the 5 and playing the 7th on the D string, you're going to shift your finger over to the 9th, so the chord is kind of spread out. That should sound like a shoegaze. You can play.
I
that
can
anywhere.
confirm I use this chord all the fucking time.
Yes, you can play this across the whole fretboard anywhere you want. So I'm just going to drop it down a little bit. So my 5 is starting on the A instead of the E now. Still does the same kind of chord, right? And then our second chord on the PDF, if you can see it, is like a regular power chord with the octave, but you're actually now, because you're playing it, you could put a capo on and shift the chord about a bit, but because you're now on the 7th fret? Yeah, 7th fret. I can't really see my fucking fretboard too good. Because you're on the 7th fret, that is actually gonna be the same note as your open E. So you can play the open E along with it and it'll make it denser. And that's kind of an inversion. Kind of not, but kind of is. And that works well with the already not an inverted, but a different, I don't know the fucking posh way to say it, but it's a different chord. Goes into the. And then if you want to funk it up even more, you can take that pinky off the 9 of the G string and leave your middle finger on the 8th. So that's going to make an even crunchier chord. So you can start with the. So yeah, if you want to go through that a little bit and try and figure those chords out, I can't really put my camera on and show you the fingering positions, but you're really going to be wanting to use your pointer finger for the 5s, your ring finger for the 7ths, and your pinky for the 9s, and that's kind of what you're going to want to do for every structure. That's sort of or you're going to be wanting to use your middle finger for the 7th, and then when you move it to the power chord type thing, you can use your ring finger for the middle note there. Just because it's going to be hard for you to reach your fucking... Well, it might be. It might be hard for you to reach your ring finger over with your pinky like that. So yeah, is everyone who is playing along liking those chords so far? Able to?
Yeah, they're quite cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I knew some of those. They're really neat.
Yeah, I'm just.
My acoustic is very out of tune. However, I can still.
I am not
still
plugged
play
into
them.
it. I'm not plugged into an amp right
Okay.
now because I think it
Now
would come
for
through.
It's like these chords. I play them all the time. I
Yeah.
love like both of these chords here.
Now, if you
A
want to get
question:
more,
do I have to
Yeah.
use Logic Pro for this, or can I also use Audacity?
No. You can use any. You can use anything, but yeah, you can record anything.
Do I have to use Logic Pro for these guitar chords?
Some other useful shoegazy type chords is if you do that octave power chord. So you say you've got so play a 5 on the top string, a 7 on the A string, and then a 7 on the D string. If you then move that 7 on the D string to a 6 on the D string, that's shoegaze. That's so shoegaze. We're shoegazing right now. And you can find. So I'm gonna play it on the.
I love Raider Shaman.
Yeah, thank you for telling me the actual chord name.
What chord is that?
It's like a
something major.
Like that shape is like a major 7th, but without the 3rd in it. It's just.
Oh yeah, it is. Oh yeah, it is just a. It's like not a voice led, or it's not like the guide tones. It's like just the 7 and 5.
Yeah. And
is
if
weird.
you want to put that into a context of a song, playing 2 chords together, you could obviously hit the say you're gonna hit the 6th string, well, 6th root note, and play that chord formation, and then slide down to the 1st fret, keeping that chord formation. And then just play around with shapes that look sort of like that. So I'm going to maybe move my ring finger to the 3 and keep it kind of barred, and then put my pinky on the A string on fret 5 and keep my finger that's already barring the 3rd fret on the E string on the 3rd fret of the D string. So now if I put that all together, sorry, I fucked that last chord up. But yeah, have a play around with that and see if you feel it.
So basically, just shoegaze is all just about like open 7th chords.
A lot of it is, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot
it's
of
like
it is just about-
smashing like open 7th chords into like 100 pedals.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, like extended chords and like suspended seconds. They fucking love their ninths.
Oh yeah, sus chords, like every fucking tension.
I like that one game. My fault.
Because yeah, 9s are great.
I am now going to turn this off so that you can't hear me unplug, because that will be unpleasant.
As a music theory enjoyer,
Unplug too much. I do not know music theory. Like I'm relying completely on Danny to tell me what the fuck is up with half of this shit, dog, and you and people know what's going on.
yeah, notes have numbers attached to them, and you can remember what numbers they are, and then tell people the numbers.
Yeah, but
That's basically it.
So there is that. So yeah, now we're gonna tune to who's up to tune? Who's up to tune to a different tuning right now?
I'm gonna do it. I'll do it.
I'll do it too. Fuck it. I don't. Where's my phone?
Let me drop this tab in. I'm gonna drop 2 in because I've got a lead melody and a chord melody. This one might take. Oh fuck! I've got 15 minutes. No, I don't. I've got 20 minutes. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, these 2. So I'm gonna try and cheat. I'm gonna try and teach you how to cheat your way through this FACGC tuning. Please be careful with your strings. The next tuning is going to be a nightmare too for your strings, but luckily it's only a couple things, so it should be alright.
You can't make me.
Okay.
So what? Am I tuning to a low F, or sorry, a high F?
High F.
Or low? Tuning up
Tune
to
the
an
E
F.
up, the C down, the C up. I believe.
Yeah, the
no, I
tuning's in
haven't
order
told you.
from the lowest string to the highest
I've been through
string.
so many fucking strings.
Left.
No, I know. I just like I was like, it was like, am I dropping this more than an octave down? Like being an idiot.
Let me know when everyone is tuned to
That's
this.
roughly an F.
I'm tuned to it.
I realized they didn't even play like the actual fucking full one of this, fully recorded. But yeah, you get how it sounds. Then this one should. Please, I'm not checking voice overflow, so if you want to unmute and tell me you're tuned, that would be perfect. Actually, hang on.
Oh.
American football.
Did somebody just play American football?
No fucking shot.
Yeah, no, no, we are playing in the tuning that song is in.
Okay, but what if I bashed your head in with a rock? How would you feel about
I'd be pretty mad. Okay, so I'm assuming. University chat. I do not think my acoustic can handle this. That's fine. Keep the tab and obviously listen through.
I tuned in. I'm in the tuning.
Hopefully we'll get there. So yeah, this is what it should
Power
sound
chords
like.
don't sound good in this tuning.
No, they do not. They sound horrible. But it's fine because you can easily play the equivalent of power chords by just sliding your capo up. So I've got my capo on 3 for this tab. So if you guys got capos with you, yeah, I'm just gonna.
I don't have a capo.
I do.
That's fine. You can basically.
Maybe my roommate has a capo. Let me check.
You can
I'm not
equate it to
looking.
open if you'd like. It works for everything.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna for the chords. Oh shit! Hang on. Okay, so for the chords, I'm just gonna put my middle finger on the 3rd fret of, well, the 3rd fret from your capo on, or the 3rd fret open. If you're open, I'm just gonna put my middle finger on the 3rd fret onwards on the A string. And then I'm going to use my pointer finger for the 2nd fret and my ring finger for the 4th fret. And I'm just going to, for this tab, I'm going to go, fuck. I'm going to use my pointer finger for the 2nd fret and the 3rd fret and just playing all the other strings open. Shit, I haven't fucking made it listenable. There we go. That's terrible now. Because if you play this chord actually open, you can see it kind of sounds nice without even putting any fingers on the fretboard. So to form these chords that kind of sound like power chords but with more depth. So the 2nd fret. And completely open except for your finger still on that 3rd fret.
I lied, I'm chinned up.
Perfect. And the 3rd fret on the 2nd string equates to the 7th fret down from the capo or open string on the top string. So if you mute your 2nd string and just play the 7th fret, you get the same chord as muting the top string and playing the 3rd fret. So it's all around that finger on the 3rd fret and just switching between. It's such a comfortable position. You're pointing the finger on the 2nd, your ring finger on the 3rd, and all the other strings open. Now for the lead, you're going to be wanting to look at that little box between I think it's now a C, but it's the second fret up from the bottom, second string up from the bottom, the C string, and the G string above it, and the C string above that. The high E string will actually be outside of the box. It'll be shifted one fret down the fretboard. But that's how I basically do a lot of my embellishments, is I'll just use the open string to my advantage. So, what the fuck did I have the lead as? So yeah, that's just 4, 2, O, and then go up a string, O, 2, 4, 5, O. And then the harder part is getting like the fast bits down, but usually it's just hammer offs. And then that's just 1, 3, 1, O. Did I do it? Yeah, 1, 3, 1, O. And then go back to the on the high E string, and then back to the box of the 2, 4, 2, O. And then on the string above, O, 4, O. So it's basically all based around the zeros, the 2s, and the 4s of this fretboard, wherever your capo is. Count down from your capo. 0 strings, 0 frets are open on the 2 frets down from the capo, or the 4.
I have a question.
Yep.
I mean, so like, first of all, this university lecture is really banger, but can you also please do one on how to tie my shoelaces?
Yeah, so basically you want to grab one lace with your left hand. If you're left-handed, you want to grab the left lace, and you want to like. I never learned how to tie my shoes, guys. Okay.
You do the loop to open pull, and your shoes are looking cool.
You might have heard this lead in a Trevor Wong video. I may have accidentally stolen it from him. I've never heard it in a Trevor Wong video, but maybe I did that accidentally. Oh well.
I need my ukulele to this.
So yeah, that will obviously be pretty fucking hard to play in that speed first time. So
Yeah, I'm garbage. I'm garbage at guitar, so.
On another note, I just learned how to play Nevermind on my acoustic.
Let's go! I love FACGC.
I just learned how to play Nevermind on my drum set.
Let's go.
I actually already knew how to play Nevermind on drums.
We should put guitar strings and drum sets, to be honest.
I'm actually borrowing like a recording thing from a friend. We should throw a cover of
Holy shit! This is insane.
Can I provide bass? Can I provide bass for the cover?
Holy shit!
I can provide emotional support.
Can we talk about this after the cherry?
Yeah.
No.
You chilling.
Sorry, the power of Midwest emo is too strong.
But yeah, basically, a lot of these open tunings is just figure out what sounds comfortable to play, what sounds fun. You'll find kind of the gap, just like you do in a standard when you learn guitar. You'll find out which gaps kind of sound nice. And the added open element means it's just easy to flick off and play an open note if you can't figure out what note sounds good. So if I'm doing... And I'm like, where the fuck do I go from that? I can just like play any of the open notes and it'll sound pretty much alright. I don't know how helpful this is because I've never actually explained this before, so I'm probably not being as good as I could, but I think, you know, Bella's mentioned him already. If you're not understanding this shit, just Google Trevor Wong. He does it better than I do. And then just like that. Are we people who are playing along? Are we understanding this tab?
Yeah.
I mean, I have trouble with the hammer-ons and pull-ups, but
I'm just writing my own shit now.
I get it.
I kind of am doing that too.
I get it. I'm just not very fast at hammer-ons and pull-offs, and I'm also not plugged into an amp.
If you don't want to, you don't have to play it as hammer-on or pull-offs. You can play it regularly, or you can slide it. If you want to slide the instead of like, you can play. It's fucking harder to do it sliding, but if you're better at sliding than hammer-offs, it might be easier to get it.
Yeah.
Might be easier to do it sliding. Or you could just play it instead of like. You could play it note for note, and just speed it up over time. Really, it is just getting your hand used to.
I need to just turn my amp on.
notes are. Yeah. And then this last one. I'm so sorry. We're retuning.
Oh, you motherfucker.
I'm not. I'm staying in this tuning until these strings fucking break.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Swinging this shit.
I hope you enjoy this tuning. Tuning to the E is going to be a bastard, the middle E, but good luck, especially from a C. But we move. Right. I'll mute while I tune.
Okay, now this one, I'm gonna have to like tune that like a whole step down and use a capo because I am not tuning my D string up to an E. I ain't doing that, pal.
That's why my fucking electric's been out of maintenance because I tried to tune to this fucking tuning.
Oh, also, hang on.
Yeah.
And I'm just putting that in for context. And rename your file because Discord is a bastard.
Okay, hold on. Let me.
Is that coming through my mic or is cancellation dealing with it?
Tolerant left when the cis.
Is that coming through my mic?
No,
Oh no,
really.
I think you're good.
I'm chilling. This is so funny. I've just snapped my fucking D string.
No.
I'm
Cherry.
I'm not joking.
No.
I don't think I have a spare D string, gang. We might need to do this without the D
I'm
string.
sorry.
It's so Joker.
That's not my string.
No. Listen, it's just a joke kidding.
Actually, I don't think I have another D string.
It is
Okay.
a
It's
little
not-
bit
it's-
funny
it's
that
not
she's been joking
Jover.
about this the
We are
entire
turning
time,
the
and she's the only
tide
one that broke it.
Oh, I actually can't. I can't actually form the chord.
Oh no!
Oh no.
I changed my mind. It's not a little funny.
What I'll do is I'll plug into my right. I'll grab the guitar I was using before, and I'll fucking pray I don't snap that string. Right. Okay. Let's play Midwest emo with humbuckers. Beautiful. I'm gonna leave that guitar there and hope. Okay. Right. Let me retune this little bastard quickly. Hang on. Fuck's sake, dog.
You were joking about it the entire time. You were the only one that broke it.
Yeah. To be fair, I've stringed my fucking telly so horribly that I'm not even surprised. Right, let me get a tuner. That's a fucking bastard, you know? That's fucked up. I'm angry as shit right now. If I had a spare, I'd be fine because I could just like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy new strings. Okay. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
I just had a
Okay, cool.
spooky idea. Twink death for instrument.
Literally my guitar string. My guitar string got old, gang. It can't be a twink no more. Yes, it fucking can. Oh, fucking blow, gang. This is too tight. This is not right. Not right at all. Okay, we're there. We're fucking there.
Jerry, just tune it down like I'm doing. You don't want to snap
I'm
your
tuning it
strings
down a
again.
fucking octave. You know how fucking sketch that's gonna sound.
No, like just do the DAEA tuning, but like take the whole thing and like tune it down a whole step from that instead. Like,
Ooh, because I tuned right. It's fine. We are there. We are finally there. Okay.
okay.
This is gonna sound crazy because it's on like a violent pickup right now, and I'm not changing it. But where the fuck did I put my capo? It's no longer on the guitar. Is it? Okay, it's by my fucking lap. Right. Back to the lecture. I'm so sorry, gang. I have 5 minutes. Right. Sounds kind of crazy.
Everyone's in here muted. What the hell?
Right. You can hear this, right? This fucked up little.
Yeah.
Cool. So can we all see the tab? All right. This is almost exactly like the other open tuning in the fact that you play all the strings and it sounds fine. And the only difference is the box now on that C sharp. That second from bottom string is 1 fret to the left. Fucking this noise gate shit gets serious. Let me turn that off. Right, so this tab is what the fuck is that? This tab. This is the so palm muting. Can all of you palm mute? I think it's just give me a second, lads. Team I support has just scored. My dad's fucking running up the stairs. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking damn it.
Okay, I think we're clear. Right. So there's it. Palm muting is basically just where you take your palm, the fucking ball of the palm of the palm, you place it on the right edge of the strings near the bridge, and just mute the strings.
I have a question.
Yep.
Your sound design is immaculate. Can you please teach us the ABC?
Okay, on a scale of 1 to however many of you in here who just heard my dad scream my dead name up the stairs.
I didn't. I don't think it came through, don't worry.
0. Nobody heard it. Not even like a pixel of sound.
Yeah.
I did not hear it. I did not hear it.
Right,
You're good, Cherry, don't worry.
Thank Christ for that. Right, okay. So what's the... That is what it should sound like. Can you all read the tab quite well? This is again going to be focusing on, this tuning focuses on the 7th fret of the top string. That one. And then the open string, the 2nd string, and the 4th string. You can do other stuff like make like crazy little chords like this. But they're kind of like, they're harder. I'm trying to like show you the cheat sheets of these tunings and how to get started. So like for a really simple pop punk tone, for a really simple pop punk riff, take the 7th fret. Or, you know, if you're on the 2nd fret capo, like I've got the, you know, the 9th fret it would be. And then just mute the 2nd string. And play the 2nd fret on the 1st string, move up to the 4th string, and then play it all open. So that would sound like power chords, but actually you're using all the strings, or almost all the strings if you have a preference. And just make it sound fuller while being really a lot simpler. Right, played the wrong thing. So basically the way I use open strings is I use it so I only have to use 1 or 2 fingers at a time instead of making a full chord. And so I can play that bullshit fast stuff. Is there... Fuck, I think I need to head off in like a minute for Tracy. So is there any questions?
Hi.
Hello.
No, that's cool stuff.
Oh no, it wasn't saying thank you, Cherry.
Thank you, Cherry.
Awesome.
Thank you, Cherry. Absolutely.
Cherry,
That lecture
you
is
are
very awesome.
Cherry is consistently to go.
Yeah, for real.
As somebody who's not very good at guitar, those chords sound cool and are easy to play.
Any questions on how to form the chords or the finger shapings or what finger should go where?
Yep, I have a question.
Yep. Yes, so the square root of 4 times...
Oh yeah, I recorded some guitar with that fucking tuning, some cool harmonic shit. It's cool.
I'm gonna fucking go on fucking Amazon.
That shit's
and get
rad.
some.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to the fucking shop tomorrow and get new acoustic ones as well, because my acoustic is going to snap when I retune this shit.
Your entire ass acoustic.
Yeah,
is
no, the
just gonna
fucking
snap.
neck's gonna go.
I'm gonna go buy like a several $1,000 classical guitar and put it in DADGAD.
Tracy here.
I'm
putting-
worried that
not
Tracy
yet.
is asleep.
Yeah. Well, if anyone wants to hear me make any drum sounds, and by that I mean life kit.
You don't have a live kit.
Can you make drum sounds but with
No,
your mouth?
I mean the live kit, like the one that's got all the fucking like stolen hyperpop fucking and the full airborne one.
Does anybody want an impromptu like lesson on a drumstick holding technique?
Yeah,
There is
so
no
you grab
drumstick holding
it
technique,
with your
bastard.
fist.
That's a
you
lie.
grab
No.
it like you would
No,
grab a
I
stick.
actually I gave a friend a lesson about drumstick grip the other day, and it went on for like 30 minutes, or like an hour.
I don't like
It's like
jazz
an
musicians.
actually
I do
deep
not like
subject.
jazz musicians.
Screw you! That's not jazz. That's just good technique and being able to control your sticks well.
Okay, guys.
Fight.
Here's how you hold drumstick.
Okay, I hold my sticks like 3 different ways, and they're all fine.
You take it in your hand and you hold it like a banana.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's actually a whole thing. So it's like you have to be like, I can info dump about drumstick grips forever because they're all weird. But...
Thank you everyone for listening. I hope
Thank you, Cherry. That was very cool.
Yeah, thank you, Cherry.
Does anyone any further?
Thank you, Cherry.
Thank
Now we
you,
wait
Cherry
for
from
Tracy
Rizla.
to wake up.
Where's Tracy?
Cherry, I hate jazz musicians,
If-
Rizla
if the
versus
professor
Cherry
doesn't-
playing Midwest emo Rizla.
If the
Bliss.
professor doesn't show up in 15
Oh, I
minutes,
fuck with
then
jazz
we're allowed to
musicians. I just
leave.
don't think there should be rules for everything. Like
Wait,
you can
Bella,
hold
what were you
whatever
saying?
way, it doesn't matter, realistically.
If the
No, it does matter because it's about how it's about
drive. It's about pop.
One more try, Bella.
Especially with drums, if you're holding things wrong, you can really fuck your hands up. Like
Oh,
drums
yeah.
are is one of those
Like-
instruments where you can really hurt yourself.
Like that one image of Zach Hill from Death Grips. He
Yeah.
literally like,
He has god awful technique, and what he plays is awesome, and I think he's a killer drummer. But he has god awful technique, and it like he's hurting himself badly.
oh yeah, no,
But,
like
like-
hold on.
But like you can genuinely like by having proper technique with how you hold your sticks and shit, you can do a lot more cool stuff and be able to like play more interesting and fast stuff easily. It's just about knowing how to play the instrument right. It's like if somebody like showed up holding a guitar and they were like
Wait, so hang on. How many fingers do you hold your sticks with? I want to hear this.
all of them.
What?
Do you hold your drumsticks like you hold maracas?
I keep
Here, I'll send
two-
you
I
a
keep
side
my
profile.
pinky off the stick. I keep my 2 fingers one side, my middle finger on my ring finger one side, my thumb the other side, and I use my fucking pointer finger as like a fucking pointer to like knock it back up and down.
That is bad.
Literally, like one time he literally like sprayed blood all over like a snare drum. That's crazy.
I have a hi hat that has blood on it because I got.
Oh,
Here, I'll send a picture in a voice chat.
maybe spoiler it.
No, just of my hand holding a stick.
Oh.
Someone
Spoiler.
unserve mute Claire, I feel.
Spoiler my
Unless
hand.
there's any reason for her to be
That's
muted, but I don't think there is.
like it's hard to take a picture properly, but so what you do is your pointer finger and your thumb basically make a fulcrum.
Thank you, thank
Yo,
you,
yeah.
and thank you for the flow. If anyone's got any questions, because I know I was like mumbling through it and kind of didn't really give explanations for everything I put down. If you have like any questions about that or anything in particular about guitar, just DM me.
Man.
Through it.
Yo,
Fine.
gang.
Thanks, Cherry.
Feel me? Better than a hoe. Better than
Or Google Trevor Wong if you want the right
Better than a hoe.
explanation.
Better than a hoe.
If
Better
the
than a hoe.
professor
Better than a
doesn't
hoe.
show up
Better
in
than a hoe.
15 minutes, we're legally allowed to leave.
Okay. I'll just go to the shop earlier. If it doesn't
So
pull up.
real.
I'll just go watch this fucking game. We're 1-0 up in the UK.
Wait, who's
They're
playing?
fine.
Who's playing?
Bournemouth Newcastle, bro. We're 1-0 up
Oh.
against Newcastle. They're like fucking
Oh.
fourth in the league. They're fucking doing well.
I hope
We're like
Bournemouth
19th,
win. I
bro.
don't like Newcastle. I don't like Newcastle.
19th, though. We're like fucking in relegation position, fucking beating one of the top fucking 6 sides.
There's my drumstick explanation in the university chat.
Right, let's see this.
Okay, so fellas, Tracy.
Okay, that makes
Breaks-
sense.
I sent her back to
Tracy
school,
Breaks
brother.
is not online.
Yeah, I know.
It'll be alright. I'm sure she'll be alright to do it another day.
Maybe she's taking a Tracy break.
Tracy break! Ah!
Oh my god!
I don't get
Wait,
it.
Everybody laugh.
I can
don't get it.
change my nickname. I can change my nickname and just do a lecture on like Five Nights at
I'm sure
Freddy's.
she'll be happy to do it another day, and it's not like he's,
Tracy
like,
breaks Five Nights at
Yeah.
Freddy's.
Can I do a Five Nights at Freddy's lecture right now? It all
Five Nights
started
at
with a
Freddy's
fight.
hardest
I-
difficulty lecture. Somebody already said
Holy
that.
shit!
We've still had two today. So
My
it's not like
Discord
we're
crashed.
missing.
Yeah.
We can always just listen to Tracy some other day. I'm sure
I'll say
she'll
it
be
again
happy.
too.
Yeah.
It's not a massive disturbance if she doesn't
No,
do it.
no,
so
for
it's like,
sure.
No.
We could do beat battle instead. No.
It is a matter of
Oh.
disturbance. I woke up this morning
Isn't
thinking
today
I
beat
can't wait.
battle anyway?
That is not Tracy Breaks, but hi.
Wait, is today
Hi.
beat battle?
I'm moving it to tomorrow because
No,
today
we're not
is-
doing it today.
L.
Yeah.
I work tomorrow.
I'm sorry, Lundy.
Here's my one piece of advice for all musicians before I
One
leave
piece?
this university. Yes, my one piece of advice. The best
Oh,
way
never
to
mind. I thought you were
release
talking
your
about the
music,
anime.
their best way to release music is just make your entire album and post it on Twitter.
Yeah.
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 Really,
Oh, Maya.
actually, the
Maya,
audio
breaking
list is
news, that apartment tour got moved so I can make it to my own DJ set.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Honestly, I realized way too late. I could have just offered you to move you, but